what's happening, everybody? It's Ike from Flipside Music, and what the F.A.Q? Episode
16.
16, Season 4. I'm here, as always, with
Dylan.
And I'm bathed in sunlight today, apparently. And it's hot. Again, it's hot. Again, we are not timing this right, because I'm in...
Well, what's weird is we've been doing it,
Scotty.
We've done it at like very different times the last 3 times, and it's still ended up like this, though.
Well, we need to fix this because it's hot.
Yeah.
It's a little bit warm. You want to be blinded? Watch. Maybe
I'll try to get all of it.
It's like Archimedes freaking through the camera, burning people's houses and shit down. Oh, we already got dinged from...
Was that a minute? Well, maybe not.
I don't know. It wasn't 30 seconds yet, so I already dinged from YouTube. Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Weekly question and answer show. You ask us a question, we have an answer. Woohoo! All right. Darren?
All right. So this week we'll start with Javier Beltran. Hopefully I'm saying that. Beltran. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Question for this week is, he said he saw a post on Facebook asking what's the proper way to store pedals. So like long-term storage. He said a guy replied and said to turn all the knobs all the way down. He says, I don't know how accurate this can be, or is there a specific way to store pedals for like a long-term situation? No, other than like if there's a battery in there, pull the battery. But yeah, I mean, that's about the only, I mean, if it's not on, it's not on. It's not doing anything. The knobs can't. Yeah, that's an interesting...
I think I understand, because now that I'm hearing that. Okay, so first off, just like Dylan said, unplug it.
Yeah.
If it's got a battery in it, take that out so it doesn't corrode. So I'm trying to...
Well, definitely don't leave them on all the time, too. That would be... So if you have a power supply, make sure you unplug that, too, or turn it off.
And if you're going to store them, I mean, if you put them in a box, it's going to keep dust off of them. Mm-hmm. You know, dust can get in the pots and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking if somebody said...
Turn all the knobs.
Turn all the knobs to off. That way because it's like a sweep. Yeah. That's how the knobs work. That it's all the way to one side. So if it does get dusty, they could.
I see the thinking to a point, but the thing is like when the knob's dirty, you're then still gonna. I mean, either way, you're gonna have to do the knob twisty thing to
clean it. Right. Yeah. I'm just trying to justify why.
I could see. Yeah, that makes more sense. Way more sense than Because at first I was like. What's the thinking by that? Makes way more sense.
I think it's just because they're concerned about dust, and that would be a concern if you're going to have them long term. But if you're going to store a pedal for 2 years in a closet or somewhere, if it gets dusty, it's probably a good idea to hit it with a little deoxit anyway and clean it up. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but long-term storage, main thing is definitely batteries. So like Boss pedals, for whatever reason, seem to be the number one that people leave, batteries in there forever. And it's like, if those batteries sit in there for a few years in the wrong environment, it can take out the whole pedal. Sometimes you'll get lucky and it's just a mess to clean up. But if it's not a mess, it's a busted pedal. So
it's hot.
Yeah.
I'm like cooking over here.
All right, so that was a good question.
This might be a short F.A.Q.
Sure, we'll do the hot seat round.
Yeah, we're gonna have to time these different because this is shit.
Anyway, RNA Music asks, "What is your favorite Earthquaker Devices pedal?"
What is your favorite color? Blue. No. Okay. Anyway. What's favorite Earthquaker?
Yeah.
Earthquaker?
That's tough because actually there's 2 that I really love. So I mean maybe I won't separate. I'll just do my favorite 2. Mine's the Grand Orbiter and the Ghost Echo. So.
I was gonna say Ghost Echo was kind of on my list, but I was like trying to think of something else. I mean, I really like the Plumes for what it is. Ghost Echo is great too.
Honestly, the Plumes it's weird. It doesn't agree with every amp because it tends to be a little bit of a stiffer kind of overdrive, so it's better for some of the squishier amps. But I think the Plumes has to be like the best selling one that they've. I mean, I don't know if they've come out and said
it's a really good pedal. Well, I mean, price point's right too, though.
Well, it is. It's just weird because I think when we were first with them, most of the pedals that they have now that are above like 10,000 in serial numbers. A lot of those we saw when they were still in like the low hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's kind of crazy to see, but the plumes is like by far the biggest though, because we had, I think we had several of the first few hundred when we first got them.
Because we bulked up early.
Yeah, and now like has it been 2 years? Maybe a little longer?
Ish.
Yeah, 2 years, 2.5 years. They're already well and above, 11,000 at this point. So it's like, to me, that's the quickest that I've ever seen them go from like hundreds to 10,000 plus.
It's a price point.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of like a modern classic at this point.
Yeah, $100. I mean, shit, that's easy money.
And I honestly think the special cranker is going to get there, but it's interesting to me because the special cranker is kind of the anti-plumes. So I think it's gonna be for all those guys that want something that's not necessarily Tube Screamer-esque. They want something that's a little grittier, a little saggier, a little anti-plumes.
Yeah.
It's like they're the odd couple. They kind of are actually in terms of the price point. And
you sold the other ones quick.
Special crankers, Oscar.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry I didn't print questions this week, so we're just rolling with the phone. Colin James
Somebody right now is going, they print questions?
Oh, yeah.
They're probably like, no, we're happy because we don't have to listen to Ike rattle and paper.
Oh, yeah. Slap. Colin James asks, Chase Bliss just announced that they're going to a direct sale model. Do you think other boutique pedal companies are going to do the same? And actually, we may as well just take this as an opportunity to do thoughts on that. I understand the thinking. I just feel like it was kind of, I don't know. I think it was very inconsiderate to do it the way they did it. Because I know you've said something similar that like the smaller dealers did help. A lot
of us did help promote the brand. So
we were a facility for people to try that stuff. And that stuff will scare the shit out of some customers. So
right.
Like we had a lot of people that had to come in and try them before they would ever even consider just buying
laying that kind of cash out. I understand it too, and I've emailed the guys over at Chase Bliss, and I wish him the best. Obviously, Joel didn't take the decision lightly. I watched his whole long video explaining everything, and I get it. But does it aggravate me a little that there was a lot of small dealers that supported, and that was kind of what grew and helped grow things, and then it's just leaving them high and dry?
Well, after 2 to 3 years of kind of being left high and dry.
Yeah, it's been a struggle to get pedals anyway the last 2 years. So I'm not shitting on them. Certainly, and I do wish them the best. They're nice. They've always been good to us, and we will continue to support their pedals. I know, like I said, it wasn't an easy decision for them to make. But there's also going to be other challenges they're going to have to deal with, and I know some of the stuff that he said about being able to connect with the customers directly and all that, that's all great, and that's admirable that that's what's going to happen. But that's what the retailers were for too.
Right.
Is that we were the buffer. So now you have no buffer.
Right.
Now all the customers you're going to have, which is good. Like I said, they're trying to build a community. They're trying to connect closer. That is another level of things that you're going to have to deal with.
Well, yeah, you cut out the dealers, your returns instantly go up. That's the first thing I know.
They already said they're okay with all that stuff, but they're going to have to deal with all the customer stuff that we would deal with.
Well, yeah, but saying
their point was that a lot of their dealers were just selling them and didn't know shit.
That's true.
So I get it. Like I said, I wish them the best. It's all cool with me, and I told them if they ever go back to a retailer model that we would certainly love to support those guys again. But I think they may run into some challenges they didn't expect.
Yes.
While they were deliberating their next move and weighing all those things into account. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Will other boutique dealers do it? Others have. And they've gone back to the retailer model. I've seen it. Some companies have we're going to do it in-house now. And then they realized, holy shit, that's a whole nother level of things that we have to do. We're going to go back to the other model.
Well, and when you do have to interface,
and it's a live and learn,
Yeah, when you do have to interface with, I know that they can say that they're ready for that, and maybe they are.
Yeah.
But it is definitely different than having a facility that's open regularly for people to come and try things. Like, that's just something that they're not going to be able to provide. So you're going to have way more people that are either going to be, one, too scared to take the chance because they haven't played one, and they don't have, like you said, the money factor alone with their pedals, it's up there. So it's like somebody taking a risk on $100 pedal versus a $500 pedal, that's way different. So I think people that, because like there's been a lot of people that we've had come in the shop that like literally had to spend a couple hours with it in the shop, and then eventually, you know, they finally were comfortable enough to be like, okay, I think I can make this thing work for me. Right. But it's like you have a whole swath of people that are gonna just, now they're just gonna be like, okay, I'm not interested anymore. I can't play it. I'm not gonna look at it, so I'm done. And it's like, that's just gonna be, I don't think they're ready for maybe that part of it. And then on the other side of it, being retail, I think they should have offered one last, like, you know, like one last hurrah, give us one last good order where we can at least be like, hey, we're parting ways, but it's not like a sour thing in any way. Like, we're thankful that you guys helped us get where we are. Here's a nice order with like a little bit.
Here's a final PO, giving you the option for a final PO.
Yeah, just like something like that, just to be like part ways on like in a nice way.
Yeah, and they're still fulfilling the orders. So if anybody does have pre-orders done with us or pedals that I've promised you guys, I know there's a few dudes out there that we've promised pedals to, that they're coming. That stuff's still going to happen. But yeah, so dealing with the other side of things.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that would have been a nice gesture for parting.
Right, but I mean, that's not the way they did it. And like I said, I'm not mad at them, and I wish them the best of luck. Mm-hmm. You know, so
no, I mean, I think
I don't know that we're going to see, just because they did it, I don't think all the boutique companies are going to be like, hey, we're going to direct and only direct, because I think they realize there's a buffer of sanity between because now you're a retailer.
Right.
If you've ever been a manufacturer or a distributor, you're basically it's a business to business. Kind of structure.
Mm-hmm. You're dealing with the same person.
And you're dealing with the same people all the time. You get to understand who they are, how they operate, this and that. Some people are very easy to work with. Some people are not. When you're dealing directly with the general public, it's a whole separate thing, because now it's all an individual. It's not an entity.
Correct.
And each individual is so vastly different.
Yesterday was a crazy example of that. I'm not going to go into it, but yesterday was several examples of just the oddities that can happen in a retail situation. Yeah.
And the thing is, there's logistics that goes along with that too, because now, like you were saying, I think the returns, you may have more returns because somebody may not be able to work their way through it, or they're not able to get it that they would have been able to figure that part out at.
Or they don't have their trusted dude at their local pedal shop to be like, hey, let's work through this together. Like, I'm not, because
we've used these and we actually know how to use them. So we've been, I think, for us, it's been good because we know how to use the products. I'm sure there's stores that have no clue.
Yeah.
Nor do they care. But that might, add another element or variable to it. But we'll see. Do I think other companies are going to jump on that and all of a sudden they're going to go direct? Nope. Because usually what happens is it's the opposite. Guys start small, going direct. And if it's,
then they get to a peak, and then they have to.
And I think it becomes a business thing that at some point there are small builders that they're satisfied with their volume with them by themselves, and they're okay with handling it. They got a handle on it, but they're also not if they went up, let's say 20-30%, at that point, would that business model still work for them? And a lot of times what happens is company gets bigger and they go, you know what, we need to go direct to retail because it'll grow bigger. Right. But also then you're just dealing with the retailer instead of dealing with the general public, which could be, if you have 50 retailers, you're only dealing with 50 people.
Right. Well, that is to your point.
But now you're going to deal with thousands of people.
Right.
That may or may not know how to use the thing. Right. That may or may not, and that we get returns because people just don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes, literally just getting it to turn on can be too much for some people. Everybody's in a different spot, but
we got some people that are that have challenges when it comes to some of the pedal stuff. So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, but I think to your point that is I think that is a huge chunk of it that they might not be ready for. Is that I think it can't not be easier to sell a large group of pedals to the same group of people consistently. Like you just getting orders and having that, as long as those stores are moving the things, you're having that sell through. But you're always sending it to the same spot. You're always dealing with the same person. And like you said, there's like you said, at most 50 different people you might be dealing with.
Minimal returns that you're going to have to deal with.
Right, and even if you do, again, you're facilitating with another person that has experience, that is in the business.
Right, that you can troubleshoot going, hey, I know that this button is broken because I can feel the click isn't working.
Right.
This or that, the other thing.
Yeah, it's not it's not a program issue, it's a mechanical issue or whatever.
Right.
Like we can narrow it down to be like, yeah, this isn't just a user error thing, this is physically, wrong or whatever it might be. But it's like those are all things that they're gonna now have to deal with directly. And
it's a no ask guarantee.
Right.
Like a no questions asked guarantee, which is fine.
Yeah.
But you're gonna get people that may you might have to have a whole nother department to deal with returns.
Oh yeah.
And then what happens? You're going to have to deal with, now there's also money. They're making full price on their production instead of
That is true.
Wholesale price. So, that may change sales. And then you also are going to have, there's going to be people that don't want to go direct, or that may impact their overall sales by not having the dealer network.
And who knows, honestly, with Chase too, like, I don't know what the inner workings...
Seems like he'd be okay with it slowing down.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know what the inner workings of their company is like, but I feel like they more or less have been operating under a direct model anyway for the last few years. Like, they've been trying to meet production, but I feel like they're probably making this call because they're probably, like you said, right now looking at margins, and they're like, we stand to probably make more if we do it direct versus dealers.
But they also, he mentioned that he would have to raise the prices because in order for them to make the money that they need to make by selling it to the dealers, they would have to raise prices to the end consumer. So they don't want to raise prices to the end consumer too, which is, I get it. That's admirable. It's
I get that.
He's thinking about the customer, which is a great approach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Well, I think it's more that. Well, I don't know. I kind of lost track with where I was going on that, but I mean,
making all the margin instead of.
Well, I think having that margin, and they're making the call there, but I think it's also because they're getting overwhelmed with, the amount that they were having direct as it was, in addition to the dealers. So now they're probably like, if we cut off this chunk, the bigger chunk is remaining. We can go more fully focused on that. And I can definitely see that thinking. Like, that makes sense to me.
And we don't know the inner working, so we're a lot of
it's
this
speculation for us.
Speculating, and like I said, I wish him all the best.
Yes.
I'm sure that was a decision that kept him up at night.
Oh yeah,
fairly often.
Well, and that's what I'm kind of mean is I think it's something they've probably been thinking about since the pandemic, because it's just been. I know that they've been having a hard time keeping up.
And without knowing the actual numbers of what they make and their margins and this and that and the other thing, it's hard to say. And they may have already, like you said, there's already a segment that's already direct sales anyway, so they do kind of know what they're getting themselves into. But anyway, all right, we went way too long with that. Or maybe not.
All right, last one is from Mr. Ben Coombs.
Coombsy! That's his new name.
Coombsy. He asks this week is what do we prefer with tremolos, harmonic or optical, or regular? I mean, we may as well. So tremolo is more of, for anybody I guess that's not acquainted with trems, is typically a volume effect cutting in and out. Essentially, is what tremolo effect is traditionally. Harmonic trems tend to be or sound a little bit more similar to like a univibe. You get a little more swoosh in there. Optical trems, I don't know that I've tried a lot of those. I mean,
I'm not a big trem.
I'm not either. And
so
this is actually you might be hitting on a spot that maybe I'm not as well versed in, because now that I think about it, like even trems that are, I know like tube driven trems and amps. I'm used to those. Which I've always really liked, like, obviously Fender vibratos, but it's really trem.
Right.
I've always liked that.
I've got
and
Vibrolux.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then, harmonic trems like the Flint and the Supro trem, that one was a great one. Nightwire from Earthquaker Devices.
Yeah,
those are all, and the Monument from Walrus. In terms of trem, like if I was going to use one, I think I would personally prefer harmonic, but that's probably only because it's like a univibe sort of.
Yeah, and I don't really use a trem, so I really don't have much of an opinion on it, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, I think yeah. I don't really like standard trems, just the volume cutting in, and like I like for it to have a little bit more of
A little bit more motion.
yeah, a little bit more motion, and maybe not a full, because like a lot of standard trems tend to do a full cut. Like when it rolls it out, it cuts it all the way, and then you're getting more of that stuttering effect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little harsher than
right.
you want to mellow out the.
Yeah, I kind of like harmonic trems because they kind of bridge the gap between a univibe and a trem, and you kind of get more of that kind of wave to ride.
Well,
I guess that's it then.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shit.
Jesus, it really is getting hot.
Yeah, I need some sunscreen. We gotta do this earlier, or we might have to.
You don't need sunscreen. We got natural.
No, we're good.
We got it built in.
This side's getting tanned up because I'm in.
I know, I'm
driving in the van, and I'm like,
well,
oh.
yeah, even because that is my driving arm, but it is way darker than the other one.
Yep, I got that. Yeah, same deal. But maybe we gotta maybe we might have to shuffle that way.
Yeah,
next
or
week.
shuffle forward.
Yeah, either shuffle forward or shuffle back.
Yeah.
Because this is yeah, you could probably fix that.
Well, now we know.
Post or something, right?
Oh,
So
it's
not
fine.
like, ah! All right. Well, that's it. That's a pretty quick one, I think.
That
Except
was-
for the big Chase Bliss discussion.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that was a good discussion. We brought up a lot of good points, and it is interesting. Something Gordo and I were kind of talking about the other day too, because he was just saying, he didn't know how much that was going to really affect things with us, and it's like, to be honest, not much because we haven't been getting a lot of them. So,
Well, the thing is,
I still am sad that we can't have them because they were a good,
cool pedals. Yeah, but the thing is, we got a box of them and they were gone in 2 days, so it was almost like we didn't have them anyway. So what does it make?
Yeah, the last one I didn't even get to try that one. Like it literally was gone before.
Yeah, the last order we got in was gone in literally 2 days.
Yeah, the whole thing, not
Yeah.
just the new one, like all of it.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for sticking around. We appreciate it. Hit the like button, all that other stuff. If you guys are still even listening at all, follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
And then we may be starting a new social media thing, but I don't know if we're going to do it yet. At some point, we're gonna do something
Yeah.
with another platform.
Not TikTok.
Not we actually had a meeting and we were like, maybe not TikTok. Well, I don't know that we're TikTokonians.
No, yeah, none of us are.
None of us got time to dance around like a bunch of shit.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, none of us. Yeah, we're yeah.
But we got other plans that are gonna be cool, and I think it's gonna be fun, and you guys will dig it. So
Yeah.
we'll let you know. All right, well, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Oh, it's hot.